All right, we live, we live, we live, we live. All right, back for another live, ladies and gentlemen. Definitely had to come on here and cover this. So y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. Hope everybody having a great, evening. Come on in, come on in, come on in, y'all. Got to get into it. Make sure y'all smash that like button. But we definitely gonna get into this commentary real quick. Need y'all to come tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in. Just gonna get into it. All right, all right. Shout out to y'all just tuning in. Come on in, y'all. Come on in. All right, we gotta get into this, man. All right, so we have this former gangster underboss of the Gambino family speaking on Jaguar Wright. We gotta get into this, man. So smash that like button upon entry. We gonna get into it. We gonna get into it. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Back for another live stream. Come on, y'all. Come on, y'all. Trying to let y'all, pile in before I get this started. Yep, yep. All right, y'all. All right, so we have former mobster, underboss of the Gambino family, known as Sammy the Bull Gravano, reacting to speaking on Jaguar Wright as far as with the Diddy stuff. So he's basically saying that no one believed Jaguar Wright until stuff started coming out about Diddy. I mean, I guess nobody really went up there and told Mr. Sammy Gravano that she hasn't been in the industry for years. She hasn't been in the industry near none of this stuff for years. A lot of the things she's saying is hearsay. A lot of the things she's repeating is stuff that's already been out there. She just gained a lot of traction with it because she was Jaguar Wright. She, had a loud mouth. She was going at calling out all these celebrities and all that. So, you know, um, I'm not really expecting Sammy the Bull to really know what's going on for when it comes to Jaguar Wright, but that's why we here. That's why we here. We here to get some things corrected. Y'all know how we do. So we're gonna go ahead and get this commentary started, man. This is backed by the fair use. This is on Sammy Gravano, Sammy the Bull's channel. You can actually subscribe to his channel. He talks about a lot of the mafia stuff over there on his channel. But he got his feelings about Diddy and this whole thing with the Diddy situation. So, he's been real vocal about it, speaking out about it. But when I see him, you know, put Jaguar name in the title and said, nobody was believing Jaguar until now, I'm like, oh, hold on, Sammy the Bull. Hold on, Sammy. I'm like, you probably didn't do a thorough investigation on her. Now, one thing I do agree with some of the things he was saying, he could tell she's off a little bit as far as like the way she expressed things and talked about these things. He sensed something was off with her. But he's wondering why they didn't call her to testify in a Diddy trial because she's a whistleblower and all. I'm like, well, she wasn't at none of those parties. She was near none of those celebrities. During the time Diddy was being investigated, Jaguar was nowhere around, so she wouldn't know what the hell was going on. Why would they need her to testify against that nigga? She don't know that nigga. She never met Diddy a day in her life. So I ain't really expecting Sammy the Bull to really understand what's going on, but we gonna get into it, man. Let's go ahead and get into this commentary. Y'all go ahead and smash that like button. Let's go ahead and get into it, man.
Now circling back to Diddy. You thought last time was bad. It gets worse. New whistleblowers and even more video. Let's see what Jaguar Wright has to say about this. Allegedly, she knew what was going on behind closed doors.
There needs to be someone here who's been here.
Let me correct them. Sammy, the Bull, she don't know what the hell is going on behind those closed doors because she wasn't there. She's repeating the things that we all didn't heard. She might have got some third-party information from some people within the industry, but she haven't been around that for years, bro. Sammy the Bull, I understand that you know you got to do your content, but you got to do a little bit more digging when it comes to somebody like her. She's haven't been in that industry, bro, so she don't know nothing that's going on behind those closed doors when it comes to Diddy, Jay-Z, whoever else she didn't screamed out about. Uh, she don't know what's going on in their life. She's not nowhere near it. So let's continue.
All along, I've been waiting for this moment for 5 years.
Called out Diddy and others for years, and even made an appearance at the trials.
So who's next?
And let me speak on that thing. She made one appearance at the trial. She wasn't down there consecutively like, you know, other bloggers, other news reporters and all. Jag made a appearance. We know she made an appearance because that was like the thing to do, just to, you know, show up and, get that, basically still to shine, get the recognition for being at the Diddy trial, because she made one appearance. She wasn't there like consecutively every day during this trial. She showed up one time and that was it. So let's continue, man.
Y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up. Why is everyone having such a hard time? He ain't doing different. He lined up D Haven, stole his life and identity. He lined up Big L, stole his life and identity. He lined up Dame Dash, stole his life, identity, and took his love. Lined up R. Kelly.
R. Kelly lined itself up. I mean, Diddy didn't have to line no R. Kelly up. So we can go ahead and script that from what she's talking about as far as with that. What the hell Diddy would need to line R. Kelly up for? R. Kelly was already got it. R. Kelly had his own separate set of problems. What the? That don't even make sense. He had his own separate problems. He had his own separate problems since the P tape. I mean, that has nothing to do with Diddy. Diddy ain't have to set R. Kelly up or line him up for anything. R. Kelly actually had his own line of problems before Diddy even had his line of problems going on. So we can go ahead and Sammy the Bull, if you listen to this and hear that, R. Kelly already had his own set of problems, bro. I'm pretty sure you heard through the grapevine. As far as with Jay-Z, I don't think Diddy needs to line Jay-Z up for any damn thing. So far, we didn't hear his name in really anything yet. I mean, only thing, happened was the whole 13-year-old thing, and that was proven to be a lie. So he didn't really, Jay-Z really needed to line Diddy up for it. Diddy had his own set of problems. R. Kelly had his own set of problems. There's no line up there. But let's continue. Let's continue, y'all. Smash that.
He
like
wants to be the one.
Yes.
Allegedly,
that.
Sean Carter is responsible
You gotta throw that allegedly in there.
for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane
Yeah, but see,
to move her out the way.
yeah, but it's no proof of that. See, when you start getting into these allegations and saying these things, see, that's what almost got to add Sue from Rock Nation, like Jay-Z and them, because you got to have proof of that. Like, you can't just say shit like that and it boast to ring true. Like, in order for these people to get convicted, I'm gonna always say this. In order for these people to get convicted, you got to have evidence. You can't just say shit and then they get convicted based off of some people saying some opinions online. Nah, you got to have hardcore evidence to get people convicted, and that's what Diddy. Diddy got off not guilty because they didn't have evidence to convict him on RICO. They didn't have evidence to convict him on sex trafficking. Only thing they had evidence on is some transporting prostitutes across state lines. That's it. So you got to beware of people that just blurt shit out. You know what I mean? And not going by the facts. Like, we don't know if Jay-Z tweet Hype Williams to mess with the Aaliyah jet and all that. Like, how the hell are we supposed to know that without evidence? How are we supposed to know they tamper with Aaliyah jet and all that shit? Like, we don't know that. Like, come on, bro.
Punishment for rejecting him, and so he could
proof of that shit.
Level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened.
Yeah, that's why she got to say
Now, I
allegedly.
want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige.
That's why she got to say allegedly.
Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other.
Yeah, but how? But you gotta understand something. She's saying that how we know Mary J was a victim of Diddy? Did Mary J come out yet and say she was a victim of Sean Combs? Now we heard Danny Boy say he was a victim of Mary J. Blige when he was 16 years old. But have we ever heard from Mary yet about Diddy, her being a victim of Diddy yet? We wait, you know what I mean? Like we said, she even got to say allegedly because she don't know if that shit true or not. You gotta say it. I mean, she got to say allegedly when it comes to that. But let's continue because I want to get the Sammy the Bull's reaction to Jaguar.
Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened. And yet, they had to sit there and have that conversation like they didn't know who did it.
Mm-hmm.
Think of the power of that moment.
If I didn't see the Diddy trial or anything like that, and I just listened to her alone, she's yelling, she's screaming, she seems like she's still completely out of control. I don't know if I would believe her either. I mean,
see, even he said it. The yelling and the screaming and shit is like out of control because if you a whistleblower, you ain't got to put on all them goddamn antics. Just think about that. Like, just think about niggas like Orlando Brown, Jack. Like, they got to do antics when they doing this shit because that's what more people are going to tune into is they going to pay more attention to the antics and how she's saying shit and what she doing when she's saying shit. Not necessarily the shit she's saying. So even Sammy the Bull had to say, if I didn't see the Diddy trial and I just heard her talking, I don't even know if I would believe her because the way she sound. So let's continue.
And she's coming up with some heavy duty statements. If nobody followed up on that, then maybe they thought she was bullshitting or she's out of her mind or something. Time has produced her to be telling the truth and being truthful. She intended to watch. Why wouldn't they use her? I mean, why wouldn't the government turn around and use her? I think she would be such a powerful witness because...
But that's the thing, though, Sammy the Bull. They wouldn't call her as a witness because she doesn't know anything. She don't know anything from the inside. She's not in those rooms. She's not at the parties. She's not at the awards. She's not at the gatherings. She's an outsider to the industry. They wouldn't call her as a witness. Why would they call her as a witness? She don't have no ties to Sean Combs. She never met Diddy. She never even been in the same room as Diddy. She wouldn't know anything, so they wouldn't call her as a witness. And I'm sure if Sammy the Bull did his thorough research, he would know that if she's not nowhere near the industry or she don't even know Diddy or never met Diddy, then they wouldn't call her as a witness. All the people we seen testify were people that worked for Diddy, was in the same room as Diddy, been hired by Diddy, made transactions with Diddy. She don't have none of that. She don't have a track record of doing any transactions with Diddy, so they wouldn't call her as a witness. What the hell would they need her for? Why would they call Jaguar Wright into the courtroom to testify against Diddy? They wouldn't, bro. And I think Sammy the Bull, he probably just don't know Jaguar because he probably didn't do his research on that. He's probably just going based off of what he's seeing and reacting to the shit and not knowing the background that she's not in the industry no more and she haven't been and she never met Diddy in her life or been around him. So he don't really know no better. But that's why you have people like us here. Let's continue.
She was saying this before Diddy is in trouble. Now I could see them passing up. They thought she's a little loose in the brain, maybe. I don't know. I think the same thing, just watching her a little bit. But now, what she was talking about seems to be the truth. So, bite your tongue and say, bring her in and say, this is somebody who said all these things before his trial.
No, Sammy, you gotta understand something though, Sammy the Bull. Understand, so he don't. Sammy the Bull, a lot of things she's saying is the things that's already been out there, and she mix a little bit of truth. She mix some truth with the lies, and she kind of like put her own spin on the truth. So she would kind of like add a little bit more things into it. You see what I'm saying? So she would take like the premise of something that's out there already and then add more to it. You see what I'm saying? And that's what storytellers do. Storytellers have the ability to take the premise of a story and add more things to it. That's what a writer does. That's what a script writer does. That's what a movie producer does, or a person that just know how to spin stories, period. She would take the premise of a story and put her spin on it. That's what she did, Sammy the Bull. So the things she's been saying before the trial is things that already been out there. And then you had the civil suits and the civil people suing Diddy, and then the paperwork coming out on the civil suits and all that. So she would read that shit. She would watch videos and other people speak on Diddy and the rumors from back in the day and the rumors you've been hearing coming out from the industry, and she would take the premise of those stories and put a spin on the shit. And then she'd start implementing other people onto the story. She Jay-Z try to set up Diddy, and it'd be extra shit going on. So like Sammy the Bull don't know no better. So and it's all right, because he probably really didn't do a thorough, background check on who Jaguar Wright is. Because he would know that, them stories is, got a spin on them. But let's continue.
I think that's extremely damaging to Diddy. And now there's another one, right? So let me see that one.
She can't sing, but they got her a microphone and let her pretend.
So let me
She was an okay actress, but, she was good at acting. She'd been doing that all her life. J-Lo is just, I don't know. Every man she's been with has said the same thing, except for Diddy. Diddy's the only one that said she was a great girlfriend and how he wish he hadn't messed it up.
Nah.
How is that the only man in her life that had regrets about their relationship, but everybody else ran for the hills? Like, it's not nobody noticing that everybody else that's left her, she was too this, she was this, she was that. But Diddy said she was perfect.
Maybe she was meant for the medal.
What happens if you're only perfect for the devil?
God.
What the fuck does that make you?
Damn.
So now she's talking about J-Lo, and why would you, the only person who was good for the devil? I guess you're one of the devil's disciples, is what she's trying to say. And I kind of believe that. She's been horrible human being with everybody. She was married to an actor right now, and she was doing horrible things. Not just cheating on him, that's fairly common in life, but she was doing some weird shit with Diddy behind her husband's back. Again, I don't know why they don't use her as a witness in the case. Maybe
They can't use Jaguar Wright as a witness in the case, because those are not facts that she's saying, Sammy the Bull. Because you have to have evidence. See, when you convicting people, you have to actually have evidence. Jaguar is not even a witness to any of that shit. She ain't been in the. She haven't been around Diddy. She don't know Diddy. She haven't met Diddy. She haven't been in the same room as Diddy. And the only time we ever seen her with Jay-Z is when she was doing a performance. She wasn't never like in a personal space with Jay-Z. She was never in a personal space with really none of those celebrities. So they wouldn't really call her in as a character witness because she don't know them people. Them people don't know her, and she don't know them people. She's not really a whistleblower because in order to be a whistleblower, you have to be somebody that knows inside information to blow the whistle. She's hearing secondhand, third-hand information and taking it and putting a spin on it. That's not a whistleblower. You see what I'm saying? Whistleblower is somebody that knows some inside information directly from the inside, names, times, dates, and everything, and decides to expose somebody. She don't have a track record of being a whistleblower and knowing direct inside information to expose anything. So she's not a whistleblower. It's right. She says she's just blowing the whistle. Blow the whistle. Blow the whistle.
Maybe they'll bring her in at the end. I don't know. Or maybe she's too far gone, too bitter. When the defense gets her on the stand, the defense lawyers will probably tear her up. She's not somebody who's going to sit there and answer normal questions. And maybe they don't want to talk to her for those reasons. I don't know.
No,
but
it's not that. She don't know anything, Sammy. So that they not going to call Jaguar Wright in to testify against Diddy. She's not in the room with him. She never been in a room with him. She never been in a personal space with him. She never worked for him. The people that got called in as witnesses are people that actually did direct business with Diddy, was in the room with Diddy, actually shared, you know what I mean, transactions with Diddy, shit like that. Jaguar Wright is an outsider talking about some shit from the end, you know what I mean, talking about some shit that's third party information. She don't know no inside shit. All those people that testify are people from within the inside of Diddy's surroundings. They're not going to call no outsider as a witness that never even been in the room with the nigga. That don't make sense. That would make no sense to call somebody to the stand that never been in the room with the nigga or around him. That don't make sense. That shit wouldn't even make sense to call her to a witness stand. Like the feds wouldn't even bring her in the interrogation room or nothing. Like that's why they never approached her, because why would they need to approach her? She's not from the inside. So she even never got approached by law enforcement to even testify about any damn thing, because she's nowhere around them niggas. She nowhere around no damn Diddy. She's nowhere around no goddamn Jay-Z. They wouldn't need her. She's an outsider. If that's the case, then they can call any goddamn body that out here talking about them to the witness stand. That's the point of the witness stand, is people that actually witness shit with their own eyes inside the goddamn, within the vicinity of the people that's being prosecuted. So anyway, man, let's continue, bro.
But it seems like now when you're showing one video after the other, going back before his trial, after, during his trial, she seems like she's right on the money with everything with him and J-Lo and everybody else who was involved. She's been spilling the beans a long time. Nobody addressed it. Nobody investigated it. Nobody followed up.
Plenty people investigated and followed up. And everybody comes to the same conclusion that got sense. I'm talking about the people that actually got some sense, that actually know what's really going on. And everybody that knows that came to a conclusion said, oh, well, she ain't never met Diddy or even been in a room with him. And these for the people that actually know what the hell going on. Not just people that's just listening to her and actually saying, oh, well, yeah, she's very convincing. She couldn't be telling the truth. Nah, this is for the people that actually know. that she never been in a room with Diddy and never met that man. So that's for the people that know what the hell going on, and not just somebody that's just talking out they, talking out they butt. You see what I'm saying? Let's continue though.
Some people are very
And please make sure y'all double tap the screen and like this video.
erratic when they talk or they get mad or something. And maybe that's why they wouldn't touch her with a 10-foot pole. They're afraid of her blowing up.
Nah, they wouldn't touch her for the 10-foot pole because she's never been around she's never been around Diddy. So they wouldn't call her to testify. That's the why they don't. The feds never approached her. Law enforcement never approached her. Diddy lawyers never approached her. The courtroom, the prosecutors never approached her. Nobody from that trial ever approached her about anything because they all know that she's never been around Diddy. So what's the point? What would be the point for them to even talk to her? No point. No point to talk to her at all. Like, they ain't even paying attention to her at all. It's like no point to pay attention to somebody that ain't even from the inside. That don't make sense. That wouldn't even make sense. But let's continue.
And being made a fool of. I guess they don't need her.
Diddy had been trying to get to Bieber for a minute. And his management was backing him off. But it wasn't until Usher took over management and had guardianship and gave temporary guardianship to the diddler for 48 hours. Think about that. He had already been to the hospital. That situation that Gene was talking about. And you still took Bieber there. But you got custody of him first.
Bro, until them folks start coming out and actually talk about that shit, bro, I'm not gonna even, until we actually hear Justin Bieber shit come out of his mouth, until we actually hear Usher start speaking on shit, bro, I don't even know if that's true. If Usher went to the hospital and his butt was bleeding behind some shit with Diddy. Like, till these niggas actually start speaking out, bro, I'm not running with that shit. I ain't running with it. Because now it's about sticking to the facts. Because a lot of people can run with the rumors all day, but now we really got to start speaking, talking to the facts. Speaking on the facts and shit. You know what I mean? And we haven't seen Justin Bieber even make a peep yet about Diddy. We haven't heard Usher say shit. So until we actually hear them niggas start talking, we could speculate from the shit that we heard, as far as like Usher being around some shit when he was younger. Now he said he been around some shit. Now he ain't say some shit actually happened to him. He said he just seen some shit. You know what I'm saying? He said, him being at the Puffy Flavor camp, he seen some shit. But he haven't actually said he got touched up with none of that shit. But yeah, bro. I don't know. Somebody said Kid Cudi car. Yeah, that shit is going with the wind, bro. They ain't had no evidence that Diddy blew up that nigga car, so that shit is going in the wind. He ain't get charged with that. The arson shit, that shit got, thrown out, and we ain't even got to speak on that shit no more. But let's continue.
Diddy had already tried. They wouldn't let him. Actually, someone made reference to the fact that Diddy trying to get at Bieber the way he was trying to get at Bieber was looking a little predatory.
It was some other people getting at Bieber on national TV. We seen niggas trying to kiss him. What's the chick name that grabbed his butt while he was on there? You had dudes saying, he looked good, and with it was like they was on national TV doing some shit towards Justin Bieber. You know what I mean? We witnessed that shit with our own eyes. You know what I mean? Saying dude gazing in his eyes, saying how beautiful his eyes is and shit. And when he like 15, 16 years old. So I believe some shit happened to Justin Bieber. But until he actually come out and speak on it, we don't know actually what went down with that shit. But we can speculate something definitely did happen to him. But until he actually starts speaking about it, I ain't just gonna start putting shit on that nigga. You know what I mean? Because first of all, if it ain't true, you know what I mean, it's just basically just hearsay when it comes to that. Until we actually hear Bieber start speaking on that shit and putting names to it and all that, then we can basically go off of that. But I ain't just gonna put some shit on that nigga if it ain't true, bro. That's
And
crazy.
then Usher came in and discovered it and managed him and got custody of him and promised to look after him. And then he sent him to the diddler. Does that sound like a good guy?
It's horrible. It's horrible.
Does that sound like a good guy? Now that we know what Diddy's really like. They're not seeing what the intentions was in his heart when he took Justin Bieber there.
Oh.
Let's be honest. He took Justin Bieber there.
Oh, this sounds like this is the guy. Usher is the other guy. She took Justin Bieber there, and this case can't get more disgusting by the minute. And people talking like that. See, now she sounds very, very normal. She's talking in a nice, quiet voice.
Yeah, but the thing about it is, none of that shit came up in the trial about Justin Bieber or Usher. So, you know what I mean? Like, it would be no point to even try to connect that to the trial because that shit wasn't brought up. He wasn't being charged about no Justin Bieber or Usher or none of that shit. He was strictly there for the sex trafficking shit. They was trying to, the RICO, the transporting prostitutes, the arson, and shit like that. That's about it. He wasn't there for the Tupac murder. He wasn't there for the Kim Porter murder. He wasn't there for, touching children, and none of that shit came up in the trial. So it really, any of that other shit being brought up is just, just the rumors and shit that has nothing to do with the trial. So until he's being, prosecuted for that other shit that people's talking about, then that's when we can speak on it. But right now, there's no evidence he killed Tupac, Biggie, Kim Porter. No evidence. You know what I mean? They didn't investigate that shit, so that it's not under investigation or none of that. So ain't really nothing we can really do with that information yet. Let's continue though.
And she's saying exactly what happened. Now, it's very easy to make her look like a liar. Just go to all the facts. Was this guy in control of Justin Bieber? Now, I saw an interview with Justin Bieber on a television with P. Diddy where he was promising him a car, a Lamborghini or some fucking bullshit. And he started talking about it and P. Diddy shut him down. What I tell you about talking about it publicly? So I guess he had Justin Bieber, who's giving him breaks in the music industry, giving him a car, a Lamborghini, fucking around with him too. I haven't seen him come up in the case, but I heard stories about it.
That's it.
Again,
Stories,
there's so many stories. I don't know which one is true, which one.
Yeah, exactly. They're just stories right now because if there ain't no evidence, like we got to stick strictly to the facts and evidence and shit like that. So we never heard Justin Bieber speaking about it, and then we don't have any evidence that of Diddy doing anything to that nigga yet. So yeah, I did a live stream earlier about the government fell with this case. Yeah, the government was sloppy, bro. Government was messy. It was sloppy, and I just think it was part of a public humiliation. Definitely being targeted, and definitely being a public, basically like a public hanging with the Diddy shit. Yeah. So he said, "Where are you chatting from?" I'm chatting from my motherfucking laptop. Where you chatting from? Chat from my laptop. Shit, I don't know. What you mean where I'm chatting from? Anyway, let's continue though. This is Sammy the Bull, man. Basically, reacting to Jaguar. Basically, him, you know, asking the question of why she wasn't, used to testify against Diddy in court and shit like that. Based off, the shit that she's been saying over the years. But she don't know Diddy, never been in a room with him, so she wouldn't be able to testify against anything because she ain't have no dealings with him. So it would be no point to call her in to testify against anybody, any goddamn body. Tell you the truth.
Is exaggerated, which one is false. I have no idea. I don't know how you could get out of it. But and then some of these stories almost fit a RICO better than they've been presenting, because this shows an organization of bringing people in and sticking them in and sucking them in, and they get stuck with drugs and sex and everything else. So now I don't even know why they wouldn't use these things. I mean, they could subpoena Justin Bieber into the court and force him to talk on the,
Yeah, but they wouldn't call him in to testify because he don't want. He's not under investigation. Like, and he has with the feds investigated as far as Diddy. Justin Bieber has no ties to that. There's no other people that has no ties to that shit. So they're not going to call those people in to testify because what the feds investigated Diddy for was sex trafficking, arson with the Kid Cudi shit, the freak offs, with the Cassie shit, the Cassie tape. Even though the statute of limitations ran out on that, it's the Cassie shit and the prostitution, paying prostitutes to sleep with Cassie. None of that other shit is tied to the case, so they don't need to bring Justin Bieber in or any of all these other people, because that's not what the feds investigated this nigga for. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue.
Adolph, I don't know what he would say or what he would do. I know Justin Bieber is related to.
Well, if y'all know who this is Sammy the Bull. This is John Gotti's underboss that was part of the Gambino family. He murdered a lot of people. He turned in state's evidence on John Gotti, told on John Gotti, went to witness protection, got out, started selling ecstasy, went to jail, got back out, and now he's in his old age. I mean, he put in work as far as a mobster. He's probably one of the most feared mobsters, from that world. Definitely one of the most famous mobsters from that world. So, but now he's a podcaster. So, he's a big podcaster now. So that's for y'all that don't know who Sammy the Bull is. And if y'all, y'all can go back and do y'all research and all that shit. But he's speaking on Jaguar Wright and basically wondering why Jaguar Wright wasn't used as a witness in the Diddy trial, and all the shit she's been saying over the years. The shit she's been saying over the years is Rain is being true and shit like that. So he's basically just asking those questions. So I'm here reacting to it and actually answering the questions that he's asking. Bringing light to the situation. They're not going to they're not going to bring Jaguar in as no goddamn witness. She don't know Diddy, never been in a room with him, don't have no ties to the nigga. There'll be no point to use her. She useless. You know what I'm saying?
Through marriage, Alex Baldwin, yeah. So all of these things that are happening now, they all link together into this. And that's what's making me start to think that the RICO law could actually work in this case, because now I'm starting to see an organization of people who all answer to the same person.
I think this might be a little old. He put this out yesterday, but I'm still thinking this might be a little old because he's speaking on like some like the shit that happened because Diddy wasn't, you know, basically convicted on RICO. So he might have put this out, you know, even though he put it out yesterday, this still might be like some shit that wasn't recently recorded at like after the verdict. Because that's what it sounds like. What he's speaking on is all the shit before before the verdict and all that shit, like during the point of the case and all that. That's what it sounds like he's speaking from.
The boss, P. Diddy. And the same reason, drugs, sex, violence, it all links in, and that becomes a RICO act. So maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe that hasn't come out yet. He's got a tremendous problem. And it seems like everybody knew. When Castellano was the boss of a family, it wasn't just the family who knew he was, made guys and captains and people like that. Everybody knew he was a boss. And I think that's what's happening to him now. It seems like everybody in that music, Hollywood era knows a little something about him. The power he was wielding, what he was doing with it, things like that. Now, I don't know what's slowing it down. You got a lot of big names now. Hello, Justin Bieber, all kinds of big names popping up. I'm sure there's names that don't mean anything to us, but in Hollywood, maybe they were big corporate people. All kinds of shit was there. I don't know. But I tell you one thing, he really snagged a lot of people into this freakouts or whatever you call them. We'll see what happens.
And then again, Diddy didn't pull anybody else no other celebrities into the freak-offs. These freak-offs was his personal space, his personal freak-offs of his own shit. Like, when these prostitutes showed up, it was either Jane Doe in the room or Cassie in the room, and Diddy freak ass sitting in the corner with a hijab on, basically trying to hide his face and walking back and forth all crazy while Cassie having sex with the prostitute. There was no other celebrities there. So all these freak offs were just Diddy personal shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't like a room full of niggas and was orgies and shit going on and all that. The shit Diddy was being convicted of is his own personal freak off shit. You see what I'm saying? Between him and the woman he was with. You know what I mean? So us as the public was thinking the freak offs that he had was like all a bunch of celebrities in there, women in there. It's like one big orgy freak off shit going on. Not to say that type of shit don't go on in Hollywood, because that's that Hollywood shit, but the shit Diddy was convicted for was his own freak offs, bro. Like, even the tapes that they showed the jury was Diddy's own personal porno tapes, bro, with his own personal stash. There wasn't no other celebrities in those tapes. It was just Diddy, Cassie, the Jane Doe, and the male prostitutes that he hired to come through there and get their smash on. That was it. Wasn't nobody else in there. So it was this personal shit, bro.
It's coming up soon.
My son died because he was my son.
Can you speak on that? Mind speak on it?
Sure.
Like, you said it was your son. He died because of
He
your
was targeted because he's my son.
He
was working on his EP.
Nah, but that's a lie though. Jag's son wasn't targeted. That was some personal shit that went on with Jag and her son. Like, she trying to tie that shit to Jay-Z and the music industry, and nah, that shit that went on with her son getting killed was some shit that happened down there in Texas where he was at a party and some shit went on between niggas, some regular hood nigga shit. That shit ain't had nothing to do with no Jay-Z, and this is public shit. You can go back and read the papers and shit that happened with her son. This shit ain't tied to Jay-Z and Diddy and the music industry. And like, nah, that shit ain't had nothing to do with it. Well, her son get murdered with some personal shit that happened between niggas down there. Yeah, I mean, and from where, you know, down there in Dallas. No music, it wasn't no music industry shit involved with that. But people wouldn't know that. The regular people wouldn't know that because, yeah, I mean, if she's just telling you flat out and you ain't really checking or anything, and you don't really know, you know, the truth behind the shit, then you just gonna go with whatever she say until you actually look yourself and seeing what happened. But yeah, she been out here telling people that shit that Jay-Z had her son murdered and it was tied to the Rock Nation and nah, none of that shit. Nah, that shit ain't true. That shit ain't true. If you check for yourself, you'll realize that shit ain't true. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue though.
I bought Philadelphia for him so he didn't have to sign to a company because I knew what it was going to do. He interned at Rock Nation. And they approached him
That's a lie though.
to sacrifice me.
That's a lie though. That's what I'm saying. That type of shit be like crazy. That should be lies. Like she lying about shit like that. Rock Nation ain't had no ties to that shit. Like that's what I'm trying to say. Like this shit be crazy, bro. But I mean, if you know Jaguar, I know her personally. So if you know her personally, then you know she deal with a lot. She deal with a lot of shit, like psychological shit. You know what I mean? Schizophrenia and shit like that. Yeah, I mean that's public shit. So she speaks on that type of shit herself. So if you know her personally, then you know that she deal with a lot of mental shit. So for her to be saying that shit is just it's crazy. You know what I mean? Like her son being murdered ain't had nothing to do with no fucking industry, Rock Nation, music industry, none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm about to wrap this up after this joint play out though. So I ain't really want to keep y'all too long, but you know.
I saw his death when he was 19. I moved us here to stop it, to prevent it, to avoid it. Right. And it happened anyway. And see, that's when I knew that Kanye's mom, Kanye would have never wanted Donda dead. Not even by natural causes. I was happy when he finally accepted it. Because they sacrifice your loved ones, whether you agree or not. See, sometimes...
And another thing I wanted to bring to your attention too, as far as like with her son, Philly, you know, Philly was out of control. So I understand she wanted to move her son out of Philly where all the wild shit was taking place, him watching his friends get murdered, you know what I mean, shit like that. And, you know, Philly a wild place. So and her son was in the streets. He was in the streets like that. So I understand she wanted to take her son and move him to Dallas, but if that shit didn't work because I mean his mindset is street mentality. So he only brung that Philly shit to Dallas and got caught up in Dallas with the street shit down in Dallas. Yeah, you see what I'm saying? And she really didn't have like a strong relationship with her son like that anyway. They was always at odds. So it really wasn't nothing she could really do about saving him anyway, because her son was already into the streets and living the street life anyway. So wasn't shit she could do with that. So she basically just moved him from Philly to Dallas, but he was still into the same shit. You see what I'm saying? I mean, and she really still all fucked up behind that shit. So, I mean, she still do got another living son. that she need to be trying to fix that shit with. You know what I mean? She do got another living son, grown. That's a grown man that she need to be probably trying to fix that relationship. That's all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? But let's continue.
You agree? And they put you in position, you know? But sometimes you disagree. And they take them anyway to show you what the harm is. Giovanni, his death is why I do what I do.
She breaks my heart listening to her that they had a son and she feels they killed him. And another sign of the RICO showing your power over people and what you're going to do. And other people see that or know that, they're afraid to talk. They're afraid to do anything because they'll lose a loved one. And so I right now, if they had that woman, right now, I don't know why they don't. She's showing to me an enterprise at a RICO situation stronger than any of the witnesses I've heard so far. I don't know why she's not in a court talking like that.
I mean, Sammy the board, they wouldn't put nobody on the stand that has no ties to the people they prosecuting. That would make no sense. See, he don't know Jaguar, so he probably think that she's still in the industry, still has ties to the industry, and she's been in a room with Diddy, have done business with Diddy and all. Like, he don't understand that she don't know Diddy, never met him, never been in a room with him. So they wouldn't bring her in as a witness against Diddy because she don't have ties to no shit. Because if that was the case, the feds would be talking to her and putting her on the stand as a witness. But she hasn't witnessed shit because she never been around this nigga. She never did no business with Diddy, no transactions with Diddy. She never been even in a party with this nigga. And even if she was in a party with this nigga, she ain't been around no shit anyway. So they wouldn't bring her in as a witness. And the reason why they ain't bring Big Gene in because during the time they was investigating Diddy, Big Gene wasn't around. They only investigated Diddy from the time of basically like around 2012, 2013, where he was with Cassie. They investigated him from that point in time. Gene wasn't around Diddy then. So they wouldn't call him in as a witness. He wasn't working for Diddy then. During the point in time when they started investigating him. Now, if they went back on some old shit, then they probably could have brought him in to testify if they went back on some old shit. But they didn't. The point in time when they investigated him, Big Gene wasn't around. Jaguar was definitely nowhere around Diddy at all. She don't even know that man. She never been in a room with that man. She never had a conversation with that nigga or anything. It would be no point for her to testify. That's some dumb shit. But I understand Sammy the Bull wouldn't know that because he don't really know the background on Jag. He just know what the shit she been saying, the shit that been going viral, the things that been going, being shared all around the internet. He don't know, if he really dug into that shit and really did some real background check on, he would understand, well, she don't know Diddy. She wouldn't been around, so I understand why they wouldn't bring her in to testify. That's some dumb shit. There's no point to do that. Like, even if Gene and Jag telling the truth, they wouldn't use them because only people they would bring in to testify against Diddy is the people that actually was there. Doing transactions with him, working for him, being his assistant. The prostitutes being paid to come and have sex. It would be people that had direct dealings with him. So the shit Gene and Jag saying it's just some outside opinion shit, that barbershop talk. You know what I'm saying? Shit like that. Like, there's no inside shit that they gonna bring them niggas in to testify against Diddy for. It makes no sense. It would make no sense to put them on the stand. That's dumb shit. And anybody with sense that know that will understand why they wouldn't use Jaguar as a witness on the stand. It don't make no sense.
She's not as erratic as I saw her in the first films. She was very calm, very straightforward, right to the point, pretty exact on what she's saying. Now, if there's other facts that boost her up, I have no idea why she's not a witness in the case. If you like this episode of The Bull...
All right, y'all can go subscribe to Sammy the Bull channel, Salvatore Sammy the Bull Gravano. That's his YouTube channel. I basically did the commentary based off of him. Asking, basically why they didn't use Jag as to testify against Diddy, or people wasn't believing what she was saying up until, he was facing trial and shit like that. But yeah, man, that concludes my commentary on this shit, bro. But I just wanted to basically, set some shit straight, because the way Sammy the Bull was talking in this video, I could tell he didn't do no research on Jag. He was just basically going off all the videos and shit that was put out there. The shit, the shit that was going viral, the shit she was saying, based off of that. But we know she didn't have no dealings with Diddy, no ties, none of that shit, none of that. So it wasn't no point to for her to testify, bring her to testify against Sean P. Diddy Combs. And man, smash the like button on this video, double tap the screen, share this live stream, subscribe to this channel, man. Like I said, this is sponsored by NightandDayHerbals.com. Head over to our website, get you some natural products, some natural herbal products, herbal soaps, body oils, detox, natural CBD cigarettes, pre-rolls, vapes, hair care, skincare products. We got stuff for pain on there and everything. So make sure y'all go over there, man, and shop with us at NightandDayHerbals.com. I'm going to drop the link in the chat. We got a 35% off sale going. So make sure y'all go ahead and purchase y'all some products, man, and get that 35% off. And you get some free shit in your order as well. So when you order with us, you get maybe a free pack of CBD smokes, the pre-rolls. We throw some free shit in there too. So, check us out, NightandDayHerbals.com. This concludes this live stream for me. I just wanted to commentate on this shit, bro. Y'all can go back and check out some of the other live streams. I actually did a lit ass live stream earlier, expanding on the verdict and all that. Y'all can go back and replay that, check that out. Yeah, man. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't, man. And other than that, I'm gonna go ahead and get out your way, man. I hope y'all have a rest, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night, man. You know what I mean? And I'm up out of here. Peace out.
Shop now at NightandDayHerbals.com and enjoy 35% off all our herbal CBD products, automatically applied at checkout.